Hello, screenwriters, and welcome to Writing for Screens, the screenwriting step-by-step project, episode 139. My name is Glenn Gers, and I come to you every Monday through Friday, if I can make it, at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, to let you look over my shoulder, share my screen as I write a script for a TV drama pilot so that I can demystify the screenwriting process. Because there's a lot of great screenwriting teaching out there, but very few of them seem to talk about this part, the process, the working it out, figuring it out day by day, scene by scene, line by line. And I think that that's really an important thing because no matter how great the script you have intended is, the biggest problem you can have in writing a script is having it not exist. If you can't get it written, you can't make it great. So this is just the process that I have worked out in my 25-year career as a screenwriter in movies and TV. It's not the best process. It's not the only process. It's not the professional process or the success-oriented process. It's just a way to get what's in your head onto the page in script format. That's all it is. And I'm just walking you through how I've done it in case it will be helpful when you are looking at the blank page. You don't have to watch all of these things. Watch the ones that you can. It's not like if you miss one, you're not going to get it. It's just a day-to-day, this is what I'm doing, this is how I do it. Take what works for you, disregard the rest. There will be no penalties or problems. Every writer is different. Every script for every writer is different. So you got to figure out what works for you. And that said, I'm going to do some greetings. Hello, Marit Letoso. Hello, Natasha. Hello, N. Good to see you all. Let's get to the writing, because that's what we're all here for. Update system audio. Sorry, I updated my... I updated my... camming software here, my live stream software, and apparently it neglected to update the audio. So it just in the middle of the broadcast said, hey, you want to update the audio? No, not right now. Okay. Hello, Show Do Not Tell. Hello, Wolf Powers. Hello, Rachel Waring. It is great to see you all here on a Friday. What I am doing, in case you have been away or whatever, I'm just going through the rough draft, which was 94 pages. It is now 89 pages. And I'm trying to get it down to about 70 or 60 because that's about a pilot TV script for an hour-long drama should be about 60 pages. Scripts are generally considered to run a page a minute. That obviously makes a big difference if you are writing a page of complex action or a page of dialogue. They're actually going to run longer, but the standard industry formula is it's about a page a minute, which means if you're writing a half-hour show, you write 30 pages. You're writing an hour show, you write 60. I wrote 90 because I was just rough-fitting in. I was just guessing and putting down anything I could think of because that's the most important part of the first step. The first step when you're trying to get your draft done is just write whatever you can, whatever it is. But now I'm trying to go through and just clean it up so I can say, all right, what's the actual script here? What's the story really doing? So right now I am just going through and getting rid of words. The other thing is that when you get too many words cluttering up your sentences, they don't work as well. They don't flow, they don't travel, they don't excite. Just too many words. So you know what? We don't need dense width. Well-organized books on shelves going up to the ceiling, that's pretty dense. File cabinets on one wall. Approximate time by seal. Oh, interesting. Your software tells you the approximate time by seal, and it goes by. That's creepy actually, but it's cool. Yeah, just know that the people who are reading it are not going to know about fade in. They're going to say a page a minute. So even if they're wrong, they're the buyers. So you kind of want to go. Just keep that in mind. But it's cool that Fade In does that. Hello from Hong Kong. I hope you're doing well. Our news media says that you've got some serious COVID activity, and I hope you are safe and healthy. Okay. All right. Da-da-da-da. Hello, this is Kitschy. You know, it doesn't matter where he opens his laptop. It's these things that you say, like, opens his laptop on the coffee table. Who cares? You know, it doesn't matter. Oh, look, everybody's from everywhere. Hola from Puerto Rico, Katie J. I am so glad to have you here. Arfang and Katie J, people who I have not yet talked to, please feel free to ask questions. I love to hear what's up with you all as I work. Hello, Kirby. Okay, Kirby's back to his old name. All right. And Tavona from Norway. This is so cool. Look at this. Hong Kong, Puerto Rico, Norway. I am just so freaking knocked out by the internationalness of the interwebs. All right. And Jean, hello. All right. You know, grimacing. I don't know if he's going to be grimacing. He's an actor. He'll do what he needs to do. Everybody's from everywhere. That is just the truest thing, isn't it? Um, and that's a good thing. It is a good thing that we can reach out. I've been saying this, by the way, as far as people who want to do DIY or indie filmmaking. It used to be that you could only do that with the people in your neighborhood, in your city. You had to go to the places where people did that. Now you can reach out to people all over the world. So if you're a DIY filmmaker who's written a script, there might be a DIY producer and director in some other country or some other state who are like, wow, we have a studio where we make, you know, corporate videos, but we really want to make something, you know, offbeat on our own, but we don't really have a good script. You put them together, magic, and you can do it through the internet. Okay, so she's just sitting there, expressionless, maybe sad. So just cutting some words. You know what? Here, this is an interesting thing. Look, interior, George's house. In George's house. Well, duh. Okay. And expressionless, you know, I'm not going to say that. Maybe sad, hard to say. That's better. That's actually better. Let the audience figure some stuff out. Let the audience put some stuff in. The audience wants to work. This is actually really important. The audience wants to work. They want to read it. Like when they're watching it on the screen, they want to read it. They want to guess. They want to figure out what they think is going on. They don't want you to just tell them everything. They don't want you to make it absolutely so clear that they don't have any work to do. The audience wants to work. You don't want to make them work too hard. It's like just giving them driving directions. You want to give them just enough for the moment that they're in, and not overload them and not make it too late. You just want to keep the flow of their interest, of their puzzling and guessing and worrying constant. Okay. Let's see. Okay. And in Maryland for Anthony Zapata. Good to know that. Maryland, home of of Baltimore, where David Simon, one of my favorite showrunners, resides. N, the grimacing. Grimacing is a great word. Yes. Yes. Not being a native English teacher would be like having an entire book of verbs for you to find out. Yes, that's true. And I thought you were in Ireland. Maybe I forgot. Maybe I got confused. Excellent. Silver Spring, Maryland. Lovely. Do you think there will be more indie films that will be filmed in different countries in one single movie? I don't know, but I hope so. If you guys have never seen, yeah, I have to say this with a caveat, but if you guys have never seen Sense8, it's a series on Netflix done by the Wachowskis and Tom Tykwer, and I have to warn you, it's first of all very, very sexual. And and it's got some good amount of violence, which somehow other people don't seem to mind as much as sexuality, which I think is nuts. But it is gorgeous, and the whole point is that these people from very different parts of the world are connected spiritually, intellectually, psychically. We don't know exactly what this connection is, but what it means is that it's filmed gorgeously in Germany and Iceland and India and Chicago and San Francisco. It's like all over the place. Korea, and it's just gorgeous. And I would just watch it just for that. However, it also happens to be really well written and really well acted and a terrific show, I think. But warning again, one of the things is they can sort of have psychic orgies. So that can happen. Beware. Thank you. Whoever you are, I am so glad. How about giving the 1 + 1, but never saying it's 2? Yes, that is a very good way of saying it. That is exactly what you are doing. You do want to give him the 1 and maybe even the plus, but you do not want to say 2. You do not want to just say, hey, here's a 2. Now and then, yes, Sense8. That is the show I was talking about, and it got canceled, but they did finish it. They went back and finished it with a movie. Anyway, I liked Sense8 a lot. The main point about Sense8, though, was that it was a story told in many places around the world. That was actually the point of it. Hello, Mythical. All right. I have failed to continue writing. Okay. She stands for a moment, take in. Okay, do I care that she's sitting or standing? No, let's just say she's taking in George's home. Crappy. Not what she would wish for. Now, the thing is, I'm not sure that this is going to turn out to be true. The truth is, George had an okay life. George was doing all right. So I'm not, this may change later, but at the moment, I'm going to leave it. Got scared for a minute of by what? What did I say? What was scary? Okay. Da-da-da-da. You know what I'm going to do? This is sort of introductory description. So I'm going to put it here, introductory, like. And then I'm going to combine these paragraphs so that, oops. All right, yeah. See, now that's good. Daylight, we get a feeling just from the description. That's the point. Tonight's edit is my script. So far, I have not started to play with other people's scripts. The project here, the way this is working is I have, over the course of these 138 previous episodes, I started just with a couple of sentences. And slowly but surely, I worked up from that a story, which I made, which I worked in the outline. I urge you to consider outline. The outline is very important. I don't know how to write without one. People can do it. You don't have to do it. But I just urge you, if things are going not well, try an outline. I did make 2 fabulous videos, if I may say. Why outline and how to outline. I'll just repeat that. There's a video called Why Outline, and then one on how to outline. And they really explain this in depth, but I think that outlines are very, very useful. I also created this thing called the overview, which is just where you put everything that doesn't fit in the outline. The outline is only scenes, because that's the most important thing. Every script is made of scenes. Memorize that. It's the most important thing I can tell you. And it goes like this. Think in scenes. Okay, so the point is, there are some things that don't fit in scenes. They're like overview, themes, character arcs, stuff like that, little notes you want to have about their backstory. So you put those in the overview. That's like it says, it's an overview. With those 2 documents and your text, I have this notes document, which I have. It's just a sketch pad. It's just a place to write stuff down when you're asking yourself questions. Anyway, so the first, I don't know how many, 80, 90 episodes of this are me figuring out the story in the outline. Then I started writing the rough draft, which was starting at the beginning of the outline, but you don't have to do that. If you have an outline, you can start anywhere. I just wrote the roughest version of what I had planned. Just got something on the page, which meant a lot of wasted guessing, saying the same thing 3 times, saying something that I didn't really mean. And I just get it down so that I have 90 pages of rough draft. Too long. Now I'm going through that 90-page rough draft and getting rid of anything that is excessive words, dialogue that doesn't go anywhere, description that isn't necessary, so that I'm beginning to boil this down into an actual first draft. Truthfully, the rough draft is not a first draft. It's a rough draft. Okay, Ed, not a problem. You're cool. Okay. Should we never use dialogue? No, absolutely. Always use dialogue to reflect what's happening. I didn't mean to imply at all that you should not do that. I just meant that if you have a way, and sometimes you can say 1 + 1 = 2, you just don't want to say 2. That's the point. You don't want to only say 2 if you can help it. Sometimes you just do a 2, that's fine. But often you want to give people the information and let them be a little ahead of you, have them be working on it. That's my point. It's not that you should never say things directly. In fact, I did a great video on that called On the Nose Dialogue, where sometimes you just want people to say what they feel or explain something to somebody in such a way that summarizes it. That's all cool. What I was saying was, especially producers and people who are new to screenwriting think that everything has to be made right up front for the audience, right in their face. Hey, don't miss this. And what I'm saying is, good screenwriting, good writing of any kind, lets the reader work a little, gives them pieces and lets them put it together in their mind. Sometimes you show them the finished product, sometimes they just have it. Anyway. How long does it take you to get? I don't know. If I wasn't doing it an hour a day for YouTube, it would take me between 8 to 12 weeks. Let me put it this way. 8 to 12 weeks is what the average Hollywood contract, at least used to for a feature, give you between approved job outline and handing in your first draft. And first draft means first finished draft. You don't hand in your first draft. You hand in the first draft they're going to see, then they give you notes and you do a second draft. Anyway, the point is, Hollywood rules would be if you are a full-time paid screenwriter, so you're not doing anything else, you can get one done hopefully between 8 to 12 weeks, 2 to 3 months. However, first of all, that may have changed. I haven't done it in a while. Second of all, if you are not being paid to do this full-time, multiply that by 4 to 10. If it takes you 2 years to get a script, that's okay. It's hard to learn how to do this. Just getting it done counts. Ideally, you'd want to get it done in 6 months to a year, but that's it. Okay. I have often taken years to write a script, but that's not full time, and that's writing a bit of it, getting frustrated, putting it aside, coming back to it, that kind of thing. But I don't know. Oh, how cool. Okay. En and Feng are talking about something that I think is super cool, but I don't understand. And that's great. As a novice, would it be more important to focus on clarity or the beauty of the text of a novel? Should people decide what's more important here and now? This is an interesting question. First of all, beauty of the text of a novel is very different than screenwriting because, let me just see if I can find this here. Yeah, here we go. It's not good writing, it's screenwriting. Screenwriting doesn't have beautiful text. I do my best, but truthfully, the point of screenwriting and the point of writing a beautiful novel are very, very different. So if you are writing a novel, this is a legitimate question. If you are writing a screenplay, never put beauty of the text first because A, no one can tell the difference, and B, no one cares. I mean, they care subliminally, and I do believe I did better as a writer because I could write well. However, you can be near illiterate and write a good script. If you can tell a good story with good characters and good dialogue, no one will even notice if the writing is bad. In a novel, that's a different question. I believe that you shouldn't be putting clarity first. You should be putting storytelling, which includes the beauty of the text, first. But then again, that doesn't mean it has to be obscure. In theory, beautiful text should be clear. And I don't mean clear like Hemingway-esque clear. I mean just, like The English Patient, Michael Ondaatje. It's not super obvious, but it's beautiful. And as you're traveling through it, it's pretty clear. Different people have a different understanding of what clarity is when it comes to a novel or even a film, but you just can't get it financed. Clarity is really important to production people who are terrified that the audience won't get stuff. So you get producers and executives who are like, they have to know exactly what their motive is. That's the business. That's the screenwriting business. If you are writing a novel, that is not the case. So therefore, I would say, as a novice, because the question was, as a novice, is it more important to focus on clarity or the beauty of a text of a novel? And I would say the important thing to focus on is getting it written, doing the best you can to find your balance. But the main thing is the focus should be on writing it and then setting it aside and reading it later and seeing what works and what doesn't, and especially trying to show it to other people who might be good, sensitive readers and seeing what they get out of it. The most important thing is to focus on not over-controlling the end result. The most important thing is enjoying the process, writing the best you can, and moving on. Okay, clearly N knows who's in Mythical's icon here, which I have to say, I don't know who she is, but he looks a little like Shaggy in Scooby-Doo. Anyway, cool. All right. By the way, I got it right. I'm pointing there because that's what the script is on my in my world. Okay. Boom. Um, like I said, I'm not sure that this is true, but I'm going to leave it because this is not the moment of truth. This is the moment of making the writing uncluttered. Not necessarily overly clear, but at least saying what I want to say without excess words. You know? Okay. I was thinking, do we know this? But in fact, even though it's not like she can play that, but we need to know that she's letting it go to voicemail because she doesn't know it, not because she does know it. Because sometimes you let something go to voicemail because you don't want to talk to that person. So I'm going to leave this in to explain the situation. Hi, you don't know. You don't know me. My name. No, listen. You don't know me. My name is Norman Urch, and it's about George and his stuff. More grimacing. M must be happy. Okay. So often we say the same thing more than once. More than once. And one of the things you want to do is recognize that sometimes saying things more than once is powerful. Most of the time, it's actually kind of disorienting to the reader because they are like, why am I hearing this twice? Did I not get it? What's the deal? Why are you not moving ahead? There is a subconscious expectation of the reader that you know what you are doing and that you are not wasting their time. So when you do something with your words, recognize that they are counting on you to have a reason for it. Very often our reason is, oh, I just was like trying to get it all out there. To website. Final Draft does not seem to have the best spell check. Okay, now here's another one. Back to, turns back to his computer. Back to the corporate website. Nope, just corporate website is up there. I am just... okay. Glad you are back, Rachel. Hi, Aaron. The editing is going okay. It is not bad at all. That character's first line meaning here or with Mythical's characters. How about writing the same story as a script and novel at the same time? Would that help the process of screenwriting? No, it wouldn't help the process of screenwriting. Nothing helps the process of screenwriting that means you're not screenwriting. However, it's sort of cool if you can, if you're writing the novel and the script at the same time, the puzzle for me would be, are you writing two separate documents, or are you trying to write them as one thing that you're sort of writing two ways? The problem is the format and the language and the writing vision of a novel and a script are just very, very different. So even if you're telling the exact same story, you would tell it different ways in a novel and a script. So therefore, I would say, ideally, choose the one that you think is more important, novel or script, and write that one first. And then you can adapt it into the other. But I wouldn't try to do both at once, because that would be hard. That's why. Yay, I'm glad. I think so too. Yes, I agree. I put one in. Aaron, you're ahead of me, but I just noticed this. And yes, I put winces because I didn't want it to just be a beat. I wanted it to be more of like a what am I saying? And his stuff. It isn't redundant because it's about George and the evidence. He's specifically wanting to tell her that someone is coming to rob her house of George's stuff, or rob George's house, and therefore he's groping in this speech. When I break up the speech with all these little dashes indicate interruption. Dashes indicate breaking off, whereas ellipsis indicates fading or incomplete. And incomplete and breaking off are actually very different. So in this case, I deliberately use dashes because it suggests that he's sort of interrupting himself, groping for words. And the point is, it's about George and his stuff, and that's why he winces, because that is indeed lame. That's lame. So that's my defense of and his stuff. Okay, I'm going to have to check out what Rayuko's from. Aren't you a bit young to be stealing fruit that's been in a pretty girl's mouth, kid? Are you that eager to learn first lungs? Okay, that is excellent. That is an excellent line. I go with you. That's cool. Neat. Well, maybe not. Maybe he just stopped coming online. Yes, I'm going to actually just take a minute here to talk about this. The idea of merging novel style and screenwriting narrative into a novel. I would strongly recommend this for those of you who are writing scripts to consider this question. Once again, does it have to be a script? The reason that I say this is because scripts are by far the worst writing form you can work in. Honestly, it's because not only is it the least is allowed for bad reasons, for reasons of production and business. You're not allowed to color outside the lines, but you also have the least ability to get it to anyone who wants to read it. If you write in any other form, if you write in poetry, if you write in a novel, you can show it to someone and they can get it. So considering that most artists, most of the time, are prevented from entering the business, and that's just a fact. Most artists, most of the time, are not getting published or put on the stage or put on the screen. They're just not. Even like I was a professional writer. I was getting jobs all the time. My own personal scripts were more than, it was like out of about 20 scripts that I wrote, or I don't know. Anyway, the point is the percentage was like 2% actually got made. The rest of them got rejected. So therefore, it's frustrating to write something in script form because if it gets rejected, nobody wants to read it. If you write in a fictional format, you can always just say to them, hey, you want to read this? Somebody's like, oh, what kind of writing do you do? And you say, oh, I wrote, this story about this high school teacher who becomes a drug dealer. And they're like, oh, I'd like to read that. You can give it to them. So that's my argument. And the people who are afraid, oh, I don't know how to write a novel. You're basically writing a novel when you write a script. You are imagining the scenes and the characters, and you are writing down what they do and what they say. That's writing a novel. Just take out the formatting and describe whatever you feel like, and you've done it. Okay, so yes, I did, and I apparently will be ranting about it forever. Yes, this is exactly right. I would say write a novel if you have a story in your head and you want to get it out, and you want to get it out in the way that you have the most freedom and creative control and the most creative landscape to work in, the most different kinds of writing that you can do, write it in reading form, not in script form. Yes, exactly. This is a great question, Martel Toso. Okay, let's talk about this. This line: Norman disconnects. He sighs. That was lame. Let me see. Can I do this? Yeah, look at that. Whoa. Okay, so that line is we are watching Norman do something, and then we are in his mind. And yes, you are allowed to do that. You are. You can say what they think, and you don't have to say, he thinks that was lame. You can just say, that was lame. We understand when we're reading it that the narrative includes his feelings. Does that make sense? You guys getting that? Oh, how neat. Najo, The Relationship Contract, a script by Natasha Najo and her typewriter specialties. She let Kitchi read it, and it was wonderful. And that is so great. Cool. What were the scripts that I wrote that got made? IMDb has those. The ones that you don't see on IMDb, the ones that don't exist there, which I will put on my website. But I wrote the script for a movie called Fracture. I wrote the script for a movie called Mad Money, a TV movie called Brother's Keeper, which honestly they rewrote. I wasn't thrilled with. Likewise, there's a horror movie called Inner Demons, which they rewrote. So it's okay. I mean, it's okay. Then there's the two that I made myself, Like, Share, Follow, which is hard to find. I will be thinking about ways to get that out to you. And Disfigured, which I'm very proud of, and which is on Amazon and Apple streaming rental. Okay. Yes, if you are rich enough, and even if you're not that rich now, you can film your script. That is a doable thing. Not everyone is of the mindset to be able to film to do those jobs. Well, you know my thoughts on this, Anne. Scripts are cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but you probably know other broke university students, and honestly, you can make a movie with your phone. We will talk about that. When I get done, which clearly I am never going to do, writing this script, I'm going to start talking about DIY filmmaking on these live streams. Yes, exactly. Famously, the line between writing fiction and writing screenplays is quite porous, and you should not be afraid of it. And fair enough. Yes, being a broke university student is actually better than being a broke university graduate. Okay. Legal and financial benefits of writing a novel first. Yes, there are some. You have completed and copyrighted and own the material, and that's a good thing. Story by and created by, even if someone rewrites your script. Well, yes, absolutely. That's true. Technically, story by, if you write the first draft of a script, according to the Writers Guild, the writer of the first draft will always get a story by credit, even if they rewrite every word. That's a fact. Yes, that is exactly when I get done. When I get done with the step-by-step screenwriting live streams, which I will get done. I swear, I'm going to get this script done. When I get done with that, I'm going to spend some time talking about the scripts I've written. I'm going to put the scripts out on my website and do some live streams where I talk about how they were written and what happened with them. Sort of do a behind the scenes of those. And likewise, talk about DIY filmmaking. Thank you. I am so glad. That was quite a tale. Yes, exactly. Right? It was gangster. I haven't even seen it, and I'm still like, damn, that is good. Make stuff if you can, if you're in the mood, if you know people who are into it. It's just fun. It's just cool to see what you can do. And you learn so much about screenwriting when you go through the process of what happens to a script. Yes, Tangerine is an iPhone movie. Soderbergh's made some iPhones. The problem with iPhones is just it has a very wide lens. Yeah, I hung out with Tony. I did indeed. So I will tell those stories at certain times. This is great. Good. Thank you, Kitschy. It's great that you're such a supportive part of the community. Hello, I write. Oh, cool. Well, wait till the end. Yes. Okay. Yes, you should. When you have a first draft, which is not the same as your first draft, when you have the first draft that you have completed to show people, and this is very important, do not show people your first draft. Show people your first reading draft, your first finished draft. I'm going to talk about this for a second. Here's the thing. When people say first draft, they do not mean the first draft they wrote. If you are showing it to people and you've only written one draft, not a great plan. The odds are, I mean, at least unless you're somebody who writes like so meticulously and perfectly that your first draft is readable, most first drafts have big problems. So what you want to do is write like 5 drafts. Then at the end of that, you call that finished thing the first draft. Then you show that to people because you're still going to get opinions and notes. If you're in the business in any way, you're going to get orders to make changes. And then every draft after that is considered the next draft. Although truthfully, once again, like between the first and the second draft, there may be 5 or 6 steps that you do personally. And then you say that's the second draft. So the first draft or the second draft indicates the first or second time you show it to people. That does not mean you only do one draft. I advise you to the whole point about this screenwriting step-by-step is to show you how much you have to go over things and over things and over things. Okay. Yes, you can get sort of these lenses that go on top of a phone lens to give it some more depth, to make it a longer lens, and that is cool. Yes, the 200th edit is the first draft. This is exactly right. Cool. Okay, by the way, if I don't write, we'll never get to those things. You know what? We don't need this. And he wouldn't have, yeah. Look at that. I cut. Now here's the thing. I believe, I believe that in my notes, I have suggested to myself that all this searching is not necessary. The whole point is he knows her info because Xena got it. Yeah. So I'm going to just cut all of this stuff as her contact info and George's address from Xena. Okay, 88. We're down to 88 pages. That is good. All right, what's going on here? You guys are okay. I've shown my first draft to a friend once. Yeah, that is not. Yeah, not good. Sketchbook is frankly better than a first draft. Writers at night. Yes. Oh, good. You know what? I'm really proud of Disfigured. It's very, very rough in its form deliberately. It's somebody once, one of the reviews on Amazon, I think, or Netflix, I think, was it should have been called Disfocused, and that's true. There's some rough focus. Okay. Well, thank you, Katie. I'm really glad. Yeah, don't show people your first draft unless yeah. I don't even know an unless. Told my friends, tell me a line. I'll tell you where it is located. Everything about it. Yeah, that is exactly. Eventually, it's in your head so much, and that's good. OKKK. Let's keep going. Okay, this is a sort of stylistic trick I did. He's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing this. I don't think that works. Okay, cuts. Do you not dash at the in that part? Add dash in that part. Which part? Not sure. This part? This is exactly what I was saying. This is not an interruption. This is a trailing off. This is a trailing off between oh hell, as opposed to if this was oops, it would be like, oh, startled. That's not what I meant. Okay. I might do that. Look at that. Because this is really the important part. In fact, I probably can cut this. There you go. All right. Yeah, this is the key to, like, if I did this, oh hell, it would be like he's not finishing the sentence. The purpose of a dash is to suggest something being interrupted or broken off. If you do an ellipsis, the 3 dots, then it suggests incomplete, failing to finish, trailing off, a looser, vaguer interruption. Yeah, you can do it in the action lines, you can do it in dialogue, you can do it wherever you want. These are just parts of typing, parts of grammar. So yeah. Okay, this is a thing you can sort of keep an eye out for. Madeline is, Madeline does, Madeline da. You can just say she if it was Madeline does this and the action is continuing. You want to vary that. If you've done she for too long, then you do, but in this case, there we go. Because there's nobody else in the room, who picks one up is got to be her. Were you? This is an interesting speech. I don't know that I'm going to stick with it, but I'm not going to take it all out right now because it is interesting. All right, interesting. No, not looking at his photo. That's what I'm going to do. Boom. Okay, see now. Yeah, I think that speech is moving. I'm just not sure that that's what. I'm not sure that that's what she has to say. But part of this I'm going to use. I'm not sure about all of this. I don't. Like I said, right now I'm just trying to declutter so that I can judge. But I like part of that, so I'm definitely in it. Writing past tense withdrawal. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, you can. There's a lot of things you can do in fiction that you can't do in a script. Okay. I'm actually gonna end with Jacob's question just because this is it's a pet peeve of mine, a rant, a thing. But yeah, here's the deal. Okay, 2 spaces after period. It's not after all punctuation. It's only after periods. And as Jacob points out, here, let me show you. Yeah, this is true. There are 2 spaces after this period. There's only 1 space after this comma. Once again, here, let's make this, see if I can do this. Okay, there. Okay, so 2 spaces after this period, but only 1 space after all other punctuation. The question is why? The answer is there is a psychological importance to periods, to breaks in sentences. And I am a big fan of making them clear visually, as well as just saying, oh, it's a period, they know that means it's a stop. The break between sentences visually gives a rhythm to the sentences. So the thing that you want to do, when they invented what they call the computer fonts, automatically space the letters and the punctuation. So therefore, in theory, almost all computer fonts will automatically put a larger space after a period than after a comma. However, this font is called Courier, and Courier reproduces a typewriter. And because of that, they decided to leave the spacing not adjustable, because on a typewriter it wasn't adjustable. Typewriters, the spacing between letters is always exactly the same because it was a hunk of metal. So in order to get that spacing on a typewriter, you had to do it twice. For Courier only on computers, you want to do the 2 spaces, but only for Courier. I would not say do it otherwise. I do it just because it's sort of an automatic habit. When my finger hits the period key, I then hit the spacebar twice. Just a habit. I like it. I like the look of it. But the main thing is there is actually a legitimate reason to do it in scripts, because scripts are in Courier font. And Courier font is different than almost all other computer fonts. Yay, that was my fun little rant. So there you go. But the main thing is, for me at least, I believe that it's slightly easier to read the concept of the sentence. Like a sentence in theory is a complete thought. It begins and ends. And you want that sense of thought, 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 and you want to have that space in between them so that the eye can tell the brain, new thought coming. That's how I look at it. I find it easier to read. Okay, so there we go. And with that rant, I am going to say have yourself a fabulous weekend. I believe, let me just check my calendar, but I believe I will be here. Yeah, I will be here on Monday to continue cutting because that's what we're doing. We're marching through this script. Okay, y'all, go write something.